What's going on, everyone? So reports came out from ESPN. ESPN's doing all of the rankings and all of their, voting. Like, what do they predict? Like, what is the projections for the upcoming season? And the number one player that they predicted to potentially request a trade at some point this season is Zion Williamson. Giannis was second, LeBron was third, Ja was fourth. Right? They had like the list of teams, but Zion was the guy that by far got the most votes. And he's a guy that we've all kind of expected is going to leave the Pelicans at some point. There was a lot of talks about him going to the Knicks. Supposedly, he really wanted to go to a big market, and in particular, the New York Knicks. Like, that's where he was hoping to go, even when he was drafted and stuff like that. And it kind of feels like one of those things where it's a matter of when, not if, he leaves New Orleans. Does anybody really think he's going to retire a Pelican? Probably not. Does anyone think the Pelicans are going to have him retire a Pelican? Probably not. And Zion Williamson's in this kind of weird spot because when he's healthy and plays, the guy has top 5 player in the league written all over him. The first time I ever was like, there is that unstoppable monster, was against the Lakers in the game before the play-in game, 2 seasons ago now, right? And he ended up getting hurt, unfortunately. That was the first time I've ever seen Zion go, get out of my way, give me the basketball, none of you are going to stop me, and I'm going to go win this game. And he damn near did, and then he got hurt, which is unfortunate. You never want to see it. Obviously, I'm glad the Lakers won the game, but you never want to see it be due to injury. The Lakers were going to win that game regardless. Why, Tyler? Because the Lakers actually had enough cushion and lead, and the Pelicans couldn't stop them either. So they were just kind of trading buckets back and forth. But Zion was making things very nervous, right? I remember watching that game going okay, somebody needs to stop this guy, right? Because every possession down the court, he scored 14 or 12 straight, something like that. I don't know. He was ridiculous. And I was like, there's that guy. Right? When the guy plays, even last year, right? He averaged 25 points or just under 25 points, 24.6 points, 7 rebounds, 5 assists on 57% from the floor. The guy can do everything. The guy can be a Swiss Army knife, make plays, rebound the basketball. The guy is an immovable object and a dominant force on the inside. He is such a freak athlete with such incredible strength and size. Anybody that can match him strength and size-wise isn't as athletic, and anybody that's athletic doesn't have the strength and the size to match up with him. The guy is unlike any other player in the NBA. But obviously, this is a Laker channel, right? Question I want to pose to all of you, just a fun conversation, fun discussion talk, is would you trade for Zion Williamson? Right? Let me know down in the comments, but I want to break this down a little bit, right? Because I would, depending, right? What would the New Orleans Pelicans want in a Zion Williamson trade? Also, what would the market look like for Zion Williamson? Right? Because the biggest problem with Zion is his health and his size and lack of conditioning, right? He's making $39.4 million this year. And then he'll have 42 million and then 44.8 million. But all of his every year is non-guaranteed. So in 2025, 2026, it's non-guaranteed, becomes fully guaranteed on July 15th. Same thing with the 2026 and 2027. So literally he's making basically 40 million a year on average, 41 and some change on average. But every year it's non-guaranteed. So it's one of those things, if it doesn't work out, you actually have an escape clause, right? You can just let him go and you don't have to pay him anything and you clear 40 million off your books, right? So you do have an escape hatch built in to trading for Zion Williamson if it doesn't work. Or at worst, you could always look to just salary dump him, right? Make a trade, especially with how the NBA is and how valuable expiring contracts are. You may be able to just even find a team that would take him on because they could just waive him in the offseason and then clear themselves off of 40 million. So you could have essentially a $42 to $44 million expiring contract that you could trade because it's fully non-guaranteed, right? So that is something to kind of keep in mind as well, that if any team were to trade from, especially the Lakers, you would have a way to get out. You're not stuck where it's like, man, if this doesn't work, we're paying him 40 plus million a year. No, this is something where you'd be able to kind of wipe your hands clean and just move on if you needed to, right? Obviously, you're hoping that it works out, but Zion Williamson's 25. He just turned 25. You want to talk about a long-term piece that would fit exactly what you want alongside Luka Doncic? I mean, imagine Zion and Luka and how fun that would be to watch and how explosive and dynamic that would. You want to talk about a lob threat? Imagine Luka just doing his thing and Zion Williamson just cutting across that line, just doom, 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 3, 5, 4, thumb, and just gets up there and just yams on everybody. Man, I mean, it would be such a fun duo and pairing, right? Like, and could be so incredibly explosive. Obviously, the prizes for the Lakers are Giannis or Jokic, right? But there is the potential that those two don't come. If is Giannis ever even going to leave the Bucks is one question. Two, even if he does, unless he forces himself to the Lakers, he's probably not going to Lakers. The only guy that I really think I could see really pushing to go to Lakers is Nikola Jokic because of Luka. And he doesn't care, right? Like Nikola Jokic would rather spend time with his ponies. Like his home isn't Denver. His home is, him going out to Serbia with his horses, right? Like that's his home. He just comes here, clocks in, goes to work, and then as soon as he can is on a plane back home, right? Like that's what he's doing. That's where he's at, right? So if I'm the Lakers, right, can I convince him to kind of force his way to the Lakers to be with the Luka Doncic? That would be amazing, right? That would be fantastic. But if your backup option is Zion Williamson, don't really hate it. Again, what would be the cost to trade for him though? That's the question. Right? Would you have to, if you have to give up a Giannis level package, I'm not doing it. Right? But Lakers would have 3 firsts next off. Like if you could do, I don't know, especially if LeBron leaves, because you could just slot Zion right where LeBron James is. Right? So LeBron could depart and then Zion could fill right in and boom, there you go. And you have another 25, 7, and 5 guy, right? Slotted in alongside. But, if you could do something like, I don't know, you probably have to trade Austin Reeves, but I would. If you could do an Austin Reeves and a first, or Austin Reeves and maybe 2 firsts. I don't know if I'd do all 3 firsts because it is still a risk because of his health. And I'll get into that here in a moment. But if you could, you're talking, say, because you're going to have to pay Austin Reeves 30 plus million. I'd rather pay Zion Williamson 40 million a year and have a get out of jail free card if need be than give Austin Reeves 35 million a year and now you're stuck with him. All right. I just think the upside and potential is higher with Zion because also he can defend too when he's actually he can block shots and get steals and he's physical and strong and can play on the inside and stuff like that. So I really like the idea of Zion alongside Luka Doncic, but again, it has to make sense. So if you did Austin Reeves and 2 firsts, I'd probably do it. Right? I'd probably be hard to say no to that. Right. And then they get a guy in Austin Reeves. Maybe you're doing a 3-team deal and turning Austin Reeves into assets and getting him. I don't really care how you configure it. But if essentially all it costs the Lakers is Austin Reeves and 2 firsts, sure. Because I would give me Zion. The big problems are conditioning and health. And health, right? But look at what Luka just did. Having that motivation going to the Lakers. Zion Williamson could very well have similar motivation. It's one thing to be on a team like the Pelicans, where everyone is decimated with injuries. I mean, former players are literally dude, that organization is cursed. You think, it's very different when you're in a place like that you don't want to be in, and then go to a team like the Lakers where you get to play with Luka Doncic and compete for a championship every year. It's a big difference to where it's okay, wait a minute, time out. I get to be a Laker. Lakers just upgraded their conditioning and health coach. They're just revamped their entire conditioning and health department, right? Got have like some of the best guys in the world at that stuff. You just saw what Luka just did and how great he looks. Right? Like, could the Lakers do the same thing to Zion and basically take two, reclamation projects? I mean, Luka still was top 3 players. Just Dallas is foolish, right? Zion, I think, really is. Because, I mean, Zion, it frustrates me so much because, like, watching Zion play, you're like, dude, that guy, there is zero reason that guy shouldn't be in the top 5 conversation every year. I mean, he has the stats. He's explosive. He's memorable. I mean, Zion Williamson should be in the argument for face of the league. Talk about a guy that's, 6'6", 6'7", 7'10" wingspan, but can jump out the gym. Like, he's a guy that should be in face of the league conversations. He's somebody that every team in the league should be clamoring and stumbling over themselves for. He is somebody that every year should be in top 5 conversations, and he's not. And it's mind-boggling. Because it's just like he's a guy that just can't get out of his own way. But if you get him to the right situation, could he finally get out of his own way? But health is a big thing. 30 games played last season. Did play 70 games the year before that. Which if he could be that, I'm not saying, like, I don't think anyone should expect Zion to play 75, 80 games a season. But give me at least 65. At least give me the threshold for the league. So you can start getting some accolades, stuff like that, and be in those conversations. Give me 65 games a year. And if you told me Zion is going to buy in, get healthy, and he'll be able to play 65 games a season, I'd be screaming to go get that trade done. Right? Like, I mean, you talk about, you could have Luka and Zion for the next, 8 years minimum, right? But last year, let's just go over last year. 28.6 minutes per game, 17 field goal attempts per game, shot 56.7% from the field, which is crazy because he's a career 59% guy. 3-point range on 0.4 attempts, doesn't take a ton of threes, doesn't really take very many threes, period. He was 23.1%. He is a career 33% guy, though. And his rookie season did shoot 43%. And then he had the 2021-2022 season where he missed the entire season and came back and shot 37%. So he's a guy that, if he needs to work on it, but if he works on it, might be able to actually stretch the floor for you. He's a guy that can knock down the mid-range and stuff like that, but like extending the 3, he's somebody that would need a little work, right? 2-point range on 16.5 attempts, shot 57.6%. EFG of 57%. Free throw shooting. He's a career 69% guy. Last year on 8 attempts was 65.6%, which was the worst of his career since his rookie season. And then, like I said, 7.2 rebounds, including 2.5 offensive rebounds. He's a career 6.6 rebound a game guy. 5 assists, 1.5 steals, and a block per game. So a guy that can give you the defense, give you the versatility, right? He averaged 25 points per game, right? I mean, could you imagine having Luka, Ayton, and Zion Williamson for the next 8 years? I mean, that has the potential to be the most incredible team ever, or a total disaster, right? Because you got 3 guys that basically couldn't get out of their own way that now are on the same, but great risk comes great reward, right? No risk, no reward. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion. I pass a question on you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments. What do you think? How do you feel with your thoughts? You love the idea, hate the idea, kind of mix in the middle. Either way, let me know. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me out. So we enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one. Thank you.